15 years ago, in the quiet summer nights of New Braunfels, Texas, my friend Sarah and I experienced something that no one believes, but has haunted me ever since. It was school holidays, and like most teens, we were bored out of our minds. With no real plan in mind, we decided to kill time at the local park, a sprawling area eerily silent at night. It was around midnight when we arrived, the warm summer air heavy with stillness. For the first hour, nothing unusual happened. We chatted, swung on the swings, and just enjoyed the emptiness. But then, something shifted. Across the park, sitting atop a picnic table, we saw someone, or rather, something. It was crouched, not sitting on the bench like a normal person, but perched on the tabletop, its posture unnervingly animalistic. At first, we thought it was just another person hanging out at an odd hour, but something about it was wrong. I couldn't look away, my curiosity overpowering my fear. That's when I noticed the wings. Yes, wings. They were folded tightly against its back, but unmistakably there, stark and shadowy under the faint glow of a distant streetlight. Its body appeared human mostly, but those wings told a different story. And then, it screamed. The sound was like nothing I've ever heard. It was a shriek, blood-curdling and primal, like the anguished cry of a woman being brutally attacked. But it wasn't human. No human, no animal, could produce such a horrifying sound. It was otherworldly, like something ripped straight from a horror movie, a demon's scream that sent shivers down my spine and froze me in place. Then, it stood. This thing wasn't just tall, it was massive, easily 8 feet, its presence towering and menacing. In that moment, my fight-or-flight instinct took over, and I ran. We both did. I've never run like that in my life. My lungs burned, my legs screamed in protest, but the sheer terror kept me moving. I ran until I physically couldn't anymore, coughing and gasping for air. The streets were empty, and every door we knocked on was met with threats to leave or risk being shot. We were alone out there, locked out with it. I kept glancing at the sky, half expecting to see it swooping down on us, like some nightmare from Jeepers Creepers. Every rustle of wind, every shadow felt like it was coming for us. Time dragged on, and finally, after what felt like an eternity, the police arrived. Relief turned to frustration as they dismissed us, assuming we were high or drunk. But one officer, he was Mexican, stood out. When he heard our story, he tried to play it off, but his face betrayed him. He knew something he wasn't willing to admit. That look, that flash of fear in his eyes, told me everything I needed to know. We weren't crazy. Sarah was driven home by the officers, while I walked the last few blocks alone, every step haunted by what we'd just seen. To this day, the memory is as vivid as the night it happened. The scream, the wings, that towering figure, it's all etched into my mind. Now, I can't go outside alone at night, especially near parks or woods. Even after all this time, I feel its presence, lingering in the shadows of my PTSD. Whatever it wasn't human. And if seasoned cops are scared to acknowledge it, then maybe some things are better left unknown.
I've always been an insomniac. Years of sleepless nights, staring at the ceiling as the clock ticks past 3 a.m., have left me desperate for any solution. So when I stumbled across a flyer for a sleep study promising shared lucid dreams, I thought, why not? At worst, I'd waste a few hours. At best, I'd finally get some rest. The lab wasn't what I expected. Tucked above a crumbling strip mall, it was a dim, claustrophobic space with flickering fluorescent lights and the faint smell of mildew. There were 5 of us. Me, a middle-aged woman named Evelyn, a cocky college kid named Jake, a twitchy guy named Marcus, and a stern, no-nonsense nurse named Dr. Voss. We were hooked up to monitors with wires snaking across our bodies, and Dr. Voss gave us the same instructions. Relax, focus on your breathing, and let the device guide you into the shared dream space. I thought it was a scam, shared dreaming, like something out of a bad science fiction movie. But When I closed my eyes, I was there. We stood in a field, but it wasn't peaceful. The grass was too green, unnaturally vibrant, and the air shimmered like a heat wave. There was a faint buzzing sound like a swarm of insects just out of sight, and the sky was a sickly yellow. It felt wrong. "This is insane," Jake shouted, his voice echoing unnaturally. He was grinning, but it didn't reach his eyes. For the first few sessions, it was tolerable. We explored the dreamscape, which shifted depending on who was leading. Evelyn once turned the sky into a swirling vortex of colors, and Jake conjured a crumbling carnival with rusted rides. It felt strange, but manageable, until he appeared. The first time we saw him, we were standing by a river Marcus had dreamed up. The water was black and stagnant, and the air smelled like rot. He appeared on the opposite bank, a figure cloaked in shadows, impossibly tall and thin, with no face, just a void where his features should have been. The buzzing grew louder. "Who the hell is that?" Evelyn asked, her voice trembling. No one answered. We all felt it, the dread, the cold weight pressing down on us. We shrugged it off, assuming one of us had accidentally conjured him. But the next time we dreamed, he was there again, closer. "Knock it off, Marcus," Jake snapped, his bravado faltering. "This isn't funny." Marcus swore it wasn't him. None of us claimed responsibility. The dreams started to change after that. They became darker, heavier. The landscapes twisted into nightmares. Endless forests with gnarled skeletal trees, abandoned cities with buildings that leaned too far, mazes with no exits. And no matter where we went, he was there, watching. One night, Jake woke up screaming. When we confronted him the next day, he said the figure had whispered his name. "It wasn't just a voice," he said, his hands shaking. "It was inside my head." Dr. Voss tried to reassure us. "It's just a dream," she said, but her voice was tight, her smile brittle. Then Evelyn didn't show up for the next session. Dr. Voss said she'd dropped out, but something about the way she avoided eye contact made my skin crawl. That night, in the dream, we found a bloodied scarf by the riverbank, the same one Evelyn had been wearing. "I'm out," Marcus said, tearing off the wires as soon as we woke up. "This isn't worth it." But quitting didn't help. The figure followed us into our waking lives. I'd catch glimpses of him in reflections, standing at the end of the street, or lurking in the background of my photos. Jake called me at 3 a.m., his voice breaking, saying the figure was outside his window. "He's just standing there," he whispered, watching me. Yesterday, I got a text from Marcus. Just one word: help. I went to his apartment. The door was ajar, and the place was destroyed, furniture overturned, deep scratches gouged into the walls, and the air thick with the smell of iron. The only thing left was his phone, lying in the middle of the floor. The screen showed a single photo, the shadowy figure, now unmistakably close, his void-like face inches from the camera. I'm writing this because I need someone to know what happened. I haven't slept in 3 days. Every time I close my eyes, I feel his presence, closer than before. The buzzing is louder now, like it's inside my skull. If you see the flyer for a shared dream study, don't sign up. It's not worth it. He's not just in the dreams anymore. He's here. And he's waiting. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in your nightmares.